Lysergic acid diethylamide, also known as LSD, is a mind-altering and mind-manifesting drug. It is a psychedelic hallucinogen that dramatically alters your thoughts and your perception of reality. LSD disrupts how your nerve cells and neurotransmitters interact throughout the brain and spinal cord. It disrupts the normal functioning of the brain, making you see images, hear sounds, and feel sensations that seem real but aren't. It is also active in tiny doses. In 1938, a chemist named Albert Hofmann discovered LSD in a fungus that grows on rye and other grains. After taking what he thought was a small dose, he had discovered that acid produces the sense of going on a journey or trip that can include joy, wondrous hallucinations, deep insight, spiritual experiences, as well as terrifying horror and despair in a bad trip. Many users claim it opens up all contents of their mind, revealing memories, facts, hopes, fears, and fantasies, both good and bad. Psychedelic drugs like LSD can cause users to experience altered states of consciousness, also known as ASC. An altered state of consciousness alters the distinct organization of mental functioning. Altered states of consciousness exist whenever there is a change from an ordinary pattern of mental functioning to a state that seems different to the person that experiences the change. Functions that can be altered in an altered state of consciousness include attention, memory, time perception, imagery and fantasy, inner speech, higher thought level processes, meaning and significance, self-control, sense of personal identity, and body image. Altered states of consciousness primarily involve changes to just one or two functions, but some ASCs involve changes to all of these functions. Attention can be directed outward or inward. People can either ignore the world around them or narrowly focus in on something. Changes in memory can cause time to speed up, slow down, or change completely. Effects on thinking and emotions can reduce short-term memory span. It is difficult to compare people's consciousness when they take LSD because their qualities can be different. It is hard to tell if people are having the same experiences. We cannot tell if the states of tripping are the same. Altered states of consciousness are so hard to describe because different people have different prior experiences, different expectations, and different ways of describing them. LSD can also induce out-of-body experiences. An out-of-body experience is the sensation of being outside one's own body, typically of floating and being able to observe oneself from a distance. Some people take this as proof that consciousness is independent of the body. William Blake hypothesized that one of the primary underlying elements of LSD's cerebral effects is the increased perfusion of blood to the brain, thereby supplying millions more brain cells with glucose and oxygen, increasing metabolism, washing out toxins, and expanding the network of simultaneous associations. This can be experienced subjectively as enhanced perception, cognition, and awareness. William Blake observed if the doors of perception were cleansed, everything would appear to them as infinite. Others, like Aldous Huxley, thought differently than William Blake. Aldous believed that the brain constrains conscious awareness with the use of hallucinogens like LSD because it induces psychedelic effects by inhibiting its filtering mechanisms.